Call of Duty has had a fair share of iconic characters. Captain Price, Ghost, Soap, Reznov. Red Daniels isn't exactly iconic, but he is memorable. He isn't some model soldier, and he isn't squeaky clean. He's dealt with some real trauma in his past, and it influences many of the hard decisions he has to make. Slowly uncovering his relationship with his brother makes his diehard loyalty to his squad make more and more sense. Red Daniels is one of the few Call of Duty protagonists with some real depth beyond the mission.
You don't know anything about sacrifice! How about this? Honorable discharge papers signed by Davis. My ticket home. I could have had everything. A hero's welcome, my girl in my arms. Hell, even a Bronze Star. But I got one last mission.
You must be crazy.
Crazy ain't the half of it.
It's fascinating when a character who has had a significant amount of games to establish themselves with creates twists that nobody could see coming, especially in a prequel. Kazuma is a hardened Yakuza in the first game, so it's a huge surprise when we learn that his history with his clan was extremely turbulent, so much so he actually leaves his clan and returns. In Yakuza 0, Kazuma isn't really defined by his accomplishments, more so his ability to surprise. We've all had that teacher. It's hard facing a mean high school teacher because they hold so much authority. It's even harder when that mean teacher holds the respect of the faculty and the parents due to their athletic success. Kamoshida is a brilliant villain, especially in the context of Persona 5, because he poses such a seemingly huge threat. He tries to expel the protagonist and his friends from school, and he haunts the metaverse. Kamoshida is small fry compared to the villains the Phantom Thieves will tackle in the future, but for a group of high schoolers, a mean teacher can be the biggest threat of all.
I'm allowed to do whatever the hell I want!
Chloe turned heads upon her initial appearance in Uncharted 2. Most of Uncharted 2 features her as an unstable third party, but it's mostly because Chloe thinks more logically than emotionally. That changes in The Lost Legacy, in which, as the title implies, she tries to complete the legacy of her father's expedition in India. She's more than a charming and commanding female protagonist. Like Aloy, Chloe is a character whose depth goes much further than their initial purpose and design.
You lie to my face. Cards on the table. I need your help. And if you want the tusk, you need mine.
Guess the limpet can't change his spots.
2B is probably the most focused character on this list. She knows her mission and doesn't let anything get in her way. The blindfold on her face is representative of that. She doesn't exactly turn a blind eye to those in need, but her loyalty to her cause is so intense she doesn't need to see any subjectivity. Yoko Taro also uses her beautiful character design against the player, asking them some intense questions about the way they see protagonists. Becoming an icon for an entire console ecosystem is a tall order. There's Crash Bandicoot, there's Ratchet & Clank, there's Nathan Drake, and now we have Aloy. All Guerrilla really wanted was a red-headed female protagonist because it sounded cool, but we get a pretty deep character in Horizon Zero Dawn. Aloy has always been an outcast, and that's true until the very end. Aloy is a regular Harry Potter, a character who's feared, but only because they possess something special. The world comes to accept Aloy, but her status will always separate her from the rest, but it's a responsibility she's more than willing to handle.
You can help, or you can get out of my way.
I know, she's best girl, but Makoto's depth is what makes her so likable. She seems like a goody two-shoes, and she kind of is, but she's also someone who feels alienated by society due to her high status at school. Makoto has a balancing act of both academic and societal pressure, and she's fed up with it. It's what's so inviting about her. We as the audience just want to see her react to the world, and it's always fun. And that makes sense considering YouTube's vast landscape of reaction channels. Makoto is admirable not only due to her intelligence, but for her willingness to try new things.
I will not lose heart again. Ever. I'll go full speed, non-stop. Fist of justice!
On the surface, BJ is a complete meathead. He's tall, jacked, and a badass Nazi killing machine, but there's an introspective thinker with a heart of gold in there too. In the new Colossus, BJ has always been someone who cared about the little guy, even if he was punished for it. He's also in a dying body, so life itself is put in a pretty large perspective for BJ. His struggles with his father shape the man he is in the new Colossus, and he proves to truly be a man of the people, no matter the cost.
William, I prayed for you to wake up.
You've gotten so fat.
It says we're having twins.
2017 was a fantastic year for female protagonists. Chloe returned to Uncharted as the lead star, Aloy became an icon for a new generation, and Nier Automata gave us two strong leaders in the form of 2B and A2. Senua is a different kind of protagonist. She's the most vulnerable protagonist in a long time, struggling with mental illness. She can make the audience feel uncomfortable or uncertain. Her journey is one that's really hard to experience. However, her journey is also empowering, and her strength in the face of adversity is something truly inspiring. She's not an icon for a console generation or a returning fan favorite, but she is one of the most important characters in a very long time.
I can still feel him.
Whatever's left of him, they will never let him go.
I'm not gonna let him rot here.
You're the one rotting here.
Leave me alone.
Good character development dictates that the character in question undergoes a journey that significantly changes them, making them feel almost like a different person by the end. That's Majima to a T in Yakuza 0, starting his journey as a disgraced Yakuza facing a great trial as he attempts to rejoin his family. What follows morphs him into the character we know in the rest of the Yakuza games, and the context of his transformation is truly heartbreaking.
そうですか。それじゃ仕方ありませんね。